All right, I'm going to. All right, so I've already said, welcome to Practicality again. We are more than happy and excited to have you here. And we definitely think that we're going to get you to the right place. And this is actually the right place, no matter what your background, no matter where you're from. So we're going to make it to what our goal is. So let's go ahead and then just try to see like what our promise is and how we're going to make it over there. So the goal, usually, like I used to say that if there is one thing that you have to take from today's class is about your goal. As we know, like this is something that we have to follow along, like not only for the class, but also for the life, for the education, for the work, for the career, for the business. We need to have like some kind of a goal. And if we aim to that goal, then, just whatever is going to be just necessary to get there is going to make it much more easier. But make sure, like, just the goal at the end of the day is to make you like the IT professional. And it is from here, all the other things would branch out, like hiring, getting a good salary, changing a career, or having your own, or maximizing your business using like the IT or whatnot. All of them are going to follow this basic goal. So our goal and your goal, which is going to be just all of our goal, is going to be just to make you an IT professional. Then it's only then after this one, every other thing would branch out, just as I've said, like whether it is a big salary or not. So talking about like the elephant in the room, who can take this class? Who is eligible to take this class? And basically, the IT is relatively like a blanket word. In there, we have like a whole bunch of things in there. You might have heard about the network. You might have heard about the database. You might have heard about like the software development or programming, SharePoint, just you name it. Like there are so many things out there, right? So each of them might have like some kind of like springboard that you need to be there, and some of them don't. So in our case, we don't want you to have like any kind of IT background. If you have it, it's going to be just help you a little bit. But if not, you don't have to worry about it. Okay, so we got you covered on that one. We're not going to assume that just everybody knows about the IT. So just we're going to start from the scratch. We're going to assume that you don't know much of the things. So we're going to take your hand and then just walk you through. So the short answer is like anybody at any kind of circumstances can take this class, because we are assuming just most of the class who are going to be just taking these students are not going to be they don't have like much of like the IT concept, and then that's easier for us. Just we're going to assume when I say that one, like how to operate the computer, just how to open and close and whatnot, but just not the professional per se. So just you don't have to worry about that one. Like if your background is anything else, what matters is from now onwards, which would be taking you to the goal. Otherwise, whatever you have like up until this point, basically it doesn't matter. For that matter, like you are in the right place. You have taken the initiation. Like depending on like what your end goal is, you have taken the initiation. So that's what matters more. And then anyone just can take the class. So there is another thing that I have to add, especially like the job, as far as the job is concerned. There is no any requirement for you to produce any kind of IT certifications or for your degree or whatnot. All you need is like a skill. We're going to cover that one as well. It's not the same thing for the others, unfortunately. Like if you are, for example, in the medical environment, then of course you need to have like the education, actually certified education. Otherwise you cannot proceed on that one, right? But not for the IT. So basically, what matters is the skill at the end of the day. So this is what I have gone through that one. Nobody cares as long as you do have like the right skill of like the IT. And then, like the class is going to be just all about that one, just to have the skill. And at the end of the day, what makes you like the IT professional is just to have like the IT skill. So the conclusion from this slide is, just there is no any excuse not to be on the IT industry, because, just there is no any requirement for you, either at the prerequisite to have before you start this one, or even after you have like the class. As long as you do have like the right skill, then you should be on the right path. Okay, so now we're getting into like the crux of the class, the class. So the very first thing to remember from this class, as we have said, is your goal. And your goal is to be an IT professional. So now we're going to be just discussing about like what are the vehicles which are taking from point A to your goal, which is going to be just the end of it. Now the class is all about solving a problem. And just we can give it like a couple of terms here and there, but in general, this is just one major thing that I want you to remember throughout the class. It's all about solving a problem day in, day out. Just anything that you're encountering on that for like the IT, it's all about solving a problem. So when you take a look on any gadgets or websites or tools, machines, tools that you use like day in, day out, everything has some kind of a problem behind it, and then that's what they are solving. Think of a GPS. Why are you using it? Now you got the answer. Think of the ATM. Why are you using it? Now you got the answer. Why are you using Amazon? Now you got the answer, and it goes on like that. So anything that we use day in, day out, they do have some problem behind them, and then they are a solution. And then that's what we mean by solving a problem. So we, while we are taking this class, are going to be just an agent of creating a solution for the problem. There are so many problems that we're going to be just we try to solve in every industry that you can think of, whether it is real estate or bank or just the airline industry, hotels, education, just anything that you can think of. There is some kind of problem to be solved. So there are a couple of ways to resolve to solve that one, and then our class is going to be just focusing more on that of like solving a problem. The how part, you don't have to worry about it right now. So just know the what part, not the how part. The how part is what we're going to be just going through, like through the class. But what is this class about? So this is the what part. The class is all about solving a problem. So a little bit of a discussion on this one. We're going to be just focusing more on the websites. And by now, I'm sure everybody has already used at least, just tons of websites by now. Whenever you are going Amazon.com, already you have used the website. Whenever you are searching something from the Google, you have searched some type, you have already gone through like some website. If you are searching for a ticket online to go from point A to point B, you have already solved the web. And then websites have been very versatile. There is nothing to be installed, and they are easy. You don't need like too much of training to use that one. We do have a browser pretty much like every time. So, just all the checkboxes have been checked, and it's better for everybody to use a web. Even when you are using a mobile application, there is one more step that you have to take, which is installation. And it might not work all the time, right? But web pretty much like work across the board, and it is a good candidate to produce or to provide our solution to. Again, our goal is to be a native professional, and what this class is all about is regarding solving a problem. So don't worry about the how part yet. So anyone who's going to be successful is the one who has solved the problem. So anything that you see on this one, and for that matter, any tools, they are winners because they have solved the problem. There is a reason that something is on your house or in your pocket, or why you are using something, because there is some kind of problem behind it. If something is not solving a problem, now you have guessed it that we don't even use it, or we haven't even heard about it. We're going to search for something when we are looking for some problem, right? So anyone like which is going to be just among ourselves, when we have any problem and we are going to seek a solution for it, then we're going to be just just a part of like successful. So this class is not going to make you only give you like the class, but also if there are any business opportunities that you are thinking of, it would allow you to do that one as well. So we have like additional classes which would allow others to discuss their just their experiences, which would become, or which by using a software they have already created a business, or by using a software they have benefited or they have scaled like their business. So just if you are like on any kind of environment, work, business, then you can think of like how you can grow your business using the IT as well. Okay, so this is going to make you like to that path as well. If there is a problem that you know of, and if you think that there is a solution, then just this class can help you to attain that problem as well. I mean, to the solution as well. So in order to solve a problem, we're going to pick up what we call the programming. It is something that we're going to take more of the class. It is all about like solving a problem. You don't need even a computer on that one. It is an automation, right? Like it is something that you're going to make things to work. And fortunately, we're not running out of examples these days because we have like self-driving cars. We have ATMs, which are like sophisticated enough to do like pretty much what the tailor was used to do. We have self-checkouts on the groceries. We have self-checkout kiosks in BMWs, in the airports and whatnot. So all of those things are what we call the automation. So think about it for a moment. Automation. Pretty much it is taking a lot of industries by surprise. When Amazon was making a debut, you can see like how many stores were having an effect. Just you might remember like there is pretty much no more of a Sears right now. There is no more of like a Kmart right now. They were flourishing businesses like at some point, right? So what happened to them? So, just everybody is still buying an item in a way, just we're still doing like a shopping. We still are like the, just any item or product junkies anyway. So, but some of the things are just going out. And take a look on that of like the parking attendants. It was a legitimate work at some point that there is like a parking attendant, and then there were like a lot of like parking attendants were in need or in demand. And today, maybe not. And how about like the cashiers and tailors? Now you can see that there is going to be just a kind of like a warning line out there as well. The whole those kinds of things that, and the most important one, like probably like the interesting part is drivers. There is already a kind of like the trucks which are driving themselves, just carrying like a whole lot of like the load and then transporting from state to state, right? And then there are like rumors that Uber and whatnot are going to be just getting a lot of like licenses in a short period of time, which would allow to have like the self-driving cars to pick you up, to pick you from your home and then to drop you there. So where are we going with this one? Why am I even mentioning this thing? So the key on this one is automation. Automation is meaning to create a selfless, like a humanless kind of machine, which would be doing as if a human is doing that one. So we are pretty much doing that one these days. Like whenever you are traveling on air, then most of the time it's going to be just through autopilot and whatnot that's going to be just performing. Just as I've said, like ATMs are going to be just automations. Just the doors which are going to be just opening when you're approaching them, they are like automation. So everything is going to be just a part of the automation. Now, what is behind the automation is what we call a programming, or a code that you're going to be just telling a program or a machine a series of instructions. You're going to tell, let's say for ATM, just in a plain English, it's going to be like, well, when someone is coming, ask for a card, ask for their PIN number, match this PIN number from our database. If they have it, just let them know that, just if they missed it, then let them know that this one is wrong. If not, then they're going to let them in, show them like what the product that they're going to be just looking for and whatnot. So for everything behind like the automations, there is a programming. So this class is solving a problem, and then in order to solve a problem, the key part of like solving a problem is going to be just programming. So we're going to take a look on that one. How do we become programmers? How do we understand a problem? And how do we cater a solution for that specific problem? And later it's going to get like even more interesting in that you might know that a problem can be solved in a million ways, but all of them might not be efficient. Some of them might be like very costly. Some of them might take like a lot of time. Some of them might be like really difficult to operate. Some of them could be, just problematic from the very beginning. They might do it, but they might do it like in a half-baked way. So even when you are trying to pick up a problem and then try to solve it, just come up with a solution, then first we'll try to solve it, but later we're going to come up with this skill of becoming like more efficient, something which is going to make sense, which is not going to take like a lot of time, budget efficient, and all that kinds of things are going to be just included on that one. So the class is all about solving a problem. And in order to solve a problem, we need the programming. So we're going to take care of that one as well. And one emphasis that I want to mention on this one is we, the human beings, are programmers, not the machine, not the computer, right? So there is a misconception out there in that computers are, we are getting to like the you know, like probably the next generation of it, which is going to be just you know, like the computers are going to run us or something like that one. But as of now, like whatever the computer is doing, we, the human beings or the developers, are telling the computer to do what the computer is doing today, right? So so we have to understand the problem before we explain it to the computer, because we are the one who's going to tell it to the computer, hey computer, when someone is coming, just check for, like going back to the example of the ATM, check back like their PIN, check them like if they have like how much on their bank account, if they're trying to withdraw this much amount of money, check that the daily balance, or if they have like enough amount of money in their bank account, and allow them or not allow them. Every kind of scenario is going to be just provided and then given by the program, and then it's fed into the computer, and then that's what it solutions it. So before we fed it into the computer, we have to solve a problem. That's why we say like we don't need a computer to solve a problem. So the term of your class is a full stack development. Now we discussed about like a problem, you know, just we said like we might be using a website and whatnot, but we say like the class is a full stack development. So what is a full stack development, and how's that making? So before we jump into that, like let's take some kind of example, and let's take an example of like a Walmart, and for that matter, it doesn't matter, you know, just you can think of like whichever the website you are familiar with. It could be Amazon.com, Google.com, CNN.com, or any of like your favorite website. You can think of it that one. And we're going to use some examples in order to explain like what a full stack is, so that, you know, just someone, you know, just if he or she's asking you like, what class are you taking? You're going to say like, I'm taking a full stack. And they say what? It's full stack. So what is that? And then you would be able to explain from here, right? So again, like this is going to be just in a very, very high level. So this is going to be something that we're going to get into throughout the class. So if you don't get too much of it, this one, don't worry. Okay, so because this is what we're going to be just doing it throughout the class. So you're going to get perfect on this one. Okay, but we're going to try to dissect it in a very high level so that you would understand what the full stack is all about, so that you know what you're going to get out of the class as well. So we're thinking in the example of like the Walmart.com, right? Now, there are terminologies that we're going to use: front end, back end, the database, and server, just for the sake of like discussions. So when you are working on a full application like a Walmart, each of them are going to be what we call stack. So front end is something that you would see when you are loading Walmart.com. So something is going to load up, right? So which would show you like products or sign up or anything, you know, just the one that you're going to be interacting with, which has like which is going to be just loaded on your computer. That's going to be just the front end. But there is also something that you don't see on your computer immediately, which whatever the browser that you're trying to look is communicating back and forth, right? So that one is, let's say you are trying to buy some kind of item. Well, let's say that you want to buy like a keyboard. Somewhere on the Walmart website, you're going to type keyboard, and you're going to see all the lists of a keyboard, or the, you know, just the products and labels, prices, rating, availability, and whatnot. You know, just all those things are going to be just coming from that one. So when you think about it, like where does all that kinds of things came from? So that's you know, like the one which is carrying this thing and then providing to you is what we call like the backend, which is another code by itself. And all that information has to be stored in a kind of, let's call it like in a storage, and that's going to be just a database. So whatever you see when you type like a keyword or a shoe or just the baby items or whatnot, whatever you're going to be just showing on as a list, they are coming from the backend code in that like the database, and somehow they have to be loaded on the server, which is going to be just basically like a computer, which is going to be just providing you. As you can see, like each node is a different type of this one. Like at least for this one, we have like number 1 front end, number 2 backend, number 3 database, number 4 server. But there are like a myriad of things like out there. So in the earlier days, you would be working like only on one of them. It was a kind of hard just to grab like pretty much like everything. So either you're going to be just a front-end developer only, or a database developer only, or you're going to be just the network administrator, which is going to be just working on a server. Fast forward today, like we're getting like a lot of tools which would make our life easier. So just as a single developer, you can work on all kinds of things. Just at least you over a period of time, you might tend to be leaning just one of the stacks out there, but the expectation is going to be just you're going to be just working on all of them, right? And it's not as hard as it used to be back in the days. So right now, due to the tool, due to like the leverage that we're having through the advancements, just we can use one kind of tool to do like all the stuffs, and that kind of make it like much more easier. So it is easy to become relatively easy to become full stack developer these days than it was like maybe 8 years ago or 6 years ago, something like that. So if you miss one piece from this one, then you're not going to get Walmart.com or any of them. So all of them should work in orchestrated manner, so that just the flow is consistent, and then everything works. It's going, every moving part should be still moving. It still should be functioning. If one of them is going to be just not working, then that's going to be just a circuit breaker. So a developer who knows like the majority of these technologies is going to be just called full stack developer. So our aim at the end of like the class is going to be just to make you a full stack developer who can understand from the inception to the completion of like the solutions, whether it is like an existing solution or something that you're going to create it from the scratch. So a little bit of like the kind of, just would give you like an idea what a full stack development would look like. This could be like the solution that you're trying to do. It could be just anything, just maybe you are running, let's say, a barbershop out of like a lack of like a good example. And then you want to have like the, just grow like your business, and then you want to have like the presence. So, just people can see when you are available, how much the price is, what kind of styles that you have. If they want to have like an appointment online, if they want to pay, there is a discount ahead of time, if there is a best way to come, just all that stuff. So in order to do this solution, which you have a problem that you are going to be just communicating with your clients, then you're going to develop a website, and then it's going to have like all these stuff. So each of them, you can think of them as what I've said, stack. So when you are working on all of them, or at least the majority of them, that you're going to be just categorized under a full stack developer. If you work, for example, only on a front-end developer, then of course you're going to be just web developer only, or front-end developer only. If you're working only on the back-end, then you're going to be just a back-end developer. If you're going to be just only on the database, then you're going to be just a database developer. If you're testing, then you're going to be just a QA or a tester. It goes like that. So it is somehow clear, like why is full stack developer more in demand? Just the more skill that you have, the more demand you're going to get, right? So it kind of makes sense. If you have like only one skill, then most probably, just maybe you might be still in the market, but it's not going to be just as like as useful as it used to be. So that's the idea behind it, right? And the other advantage that we are having by knowing more of like the things that are going on your surrounding is the lingo becomes much more easier. Just when you are communicating with the backend, with the testers, since like a little bit of like the knowledge here and there, and like with everybody else, the communication will be smooth, and it's going to make sense when someone is asking you just to do something like, can you do this thing? And you would know like where it is coming from, and then you have like all your hand is just being working on that one. So without having saying like, oh, I don't know, like about this one, go ask and then ask Peter or something, just you can I think I know how to do this one, but just someone can do it better, kind of thing. So you're going to be just in a much better position. All right. All right. So now the first one is going to be just to say like, well, okay, so it looks like there are a bunch of things out there. Some are going to be just a good fit for this one and why not. Like just like everything else, just we're going to do like a little bit of an effort on that one. There are everything like this class. The cool thing about this class is we are assuming like everybody doesn't know anything, so we start from the scratch. And then also we do have or we take into consideration of like a lot of or a majority of the students taking this class are busy already, either with their own business or work or have a family, and they have like a little bit of time just to get into. So we have squeezed out like all the necessary, just a necessary part of the class, and then make it available for you guys. So it's going to be just much more easier to swallow. So it's a bite-sized kind of thing. And also, as I've said, like had it been in the earlier days, to be like full stack developer would have been like a whole bunch of things out there. But today it is becoming like much more better. Just it's going to be just much easier to be on that route. Saying that, of course, just like anything else, just it would require like a little bit of effort from your side, from our side, in order to get it there. And there is nothing special about it over here. So if I throw you to a brand new city, of course, going to be just overwhelming first, but step by step, you're going to get yourself familiar with it, and then know first, like the most important part, probably just to understand like where the bus station is, and maybe like where the groceries are, and just whatever is going to be just necessary. And then you're going to get more familiar with the city, and then just you can go around and then probably see the side attractions and whatnot. Think of it like that one. Just at first, we're going to provide like what is most important, and once you get like more familiar with it, and then the more you exercise on that one, the more muscular you're going to be on it. So it's going to get like much more easier, like with the stuff. And then we have tools to help you with that journey as well. So it shouldn't be like as intimidating. If it is intimidating at all, it's not as it feels like. Just it would require you just to work a little bit more. But just it is what it is with anything else. Probably like a little bit of like just it's not a something that I want to mention is there is a little bit of a difference between education and training. This one is more of like a education. So if it is a training, just I'm going to show you, well, you're going to, if you want to do this, just do this first, then do that, and then just at the end of the day, it's going to work it. So the best example is like, how does the coffee machine work? Just how many times are you going to learn that one? It's just only once. Someone is going to show you how to flip, just how to turn the water, how to where to press the button, what to wait if there is a beep sound or if there is anything to read, and to know like when the coffee is ready, and then just to grab it and then just use it. As simple as that. Once you get that one, just you're going to do it like again and again. So you don't learn how the coffee machine works like just for a week. You're going to see it just once, and then that's it. So that is under the area of like the training. Whereas when it is an education, then you're going to take the logic or the things or the tools, and the problems are going to be just different from time to time. Okay, think about it. Like it is pretty much like the same programming that we use for Google, that we use for Facebook, that we use for the county, like library, that we use for the citations that you like the traffic citation that you're going to be just paying online. It's the same thing for Amazon. So you can see like all of them have like a completely different problem domains, but we're going to use like the same problem. Now you see what I mean. So you're going to be just learning the how you're going to be just solving something, but what you're going to be just solving is going to be just different from time to time. Whereas on the case of the training, you're going to learn once and it's going to be just the same, right? So the one thing which would make this one interesting and then ever exciting, and also all the time up in the market, up in the demand scale, is because it is going to be just the problems are the problem domains are enormous. You're going to learn how to solve, you can categorize every kind of problem. And then once you understand that one, then you're going to be just the on top of it, right? So you don't have any problem just to worry about. Okay, so that's the quote unquote like the main part. So we're going to go into like the like the basics of like how we conduct the class, what are like the rules and things and whatnot. And but before that, like any questions for me, or anything that doesn't make sense, or that you want me to go over it again, or anything of that kind. All right. So as far as the class is concerned, we're going to be just doing it predominantly in English, and there is a reason behind that one. Mostly like we do have also students from, well, the main thing is like we do have also students like from who are not like the local speakers, but not only that one, but also for us, just even for Ethiopians or Eritreans who are just attending this class, just if we do have like a problem on English, right? So I'm not saying like everybody, but just for most of us, it's going to be just a problem. The reason is it's not we are good on just the English, but rather we don't have like the opportunity to talk on English. So we tend to hang out with just with our family, friends, and we go to like the same restaurant and whatnot. So the opportunity to speak in English is more or less not required most of the time. So the when we are getting into like the IT profession though, fortunately or unfortunately, the way how you say it, the medium is going to be just in English. And at the end of the day, we're living on just where the primary language is English. So we assume that this is going to be just a good opportunity for all of us to use English. So it doesn't matter. Nobody's going to be just judging anyone. Just all of us have a problem of one or another. I used to tell all the time, like I did had a problem when I get into this country. Just back home, like I don't have any problem. But when I came here, just I thought like I don't know like anything pretty much, like because just every time like I was saying something, like people would want me to go over it again, just to say what, or pardon me, can I come again and whatnot. So but the good thing about that one is just to be aware of it. Just if you give it like a good deal of like 2 months or so, then you're going to be just in a good scale on that one. And usually like listening, we don't have any problem. And most of the time it's going to be just talking. We might have like a problem. If you don't have it, then good for you. We don't have any problem. Again, I'm not saying like everybody, but just for most of us, we might have like a problem just expressing ourselves. So we assume this is going to be just a good opportunity for us just to just communicate in English. Whatever the case, whether it is broken, nice, with accent, without accent, or anything, you don't have to worry about it. Just go over it, and then over a period of time, it's going to get better. Just to point, like what has helped me in my case was just to focus. Well, the very first thing is just to understand that if there is a problem, just to identify it. Sometimes we don't even believe that we have a problem. Just of speaking. But sometimes we do. At least in my case, when I came here, I do have it, and then probably some of you might have it. If you have it, it's not the end of it. If you don't have it, just good for you. So what I've done in my case is just I was trying to pick up at least 1 or 2 articles per day from main news websites, whether it is just the NPR or just BBC or CNN or one, just whatever that one. The reason that I'm doing that one was in the media, the number of word that they're using is a limited one. So they're not, just very crazy about like English. So there are a very known, probably like a couple of thousands word out there, and you have to know those. Those are like the most common ones. That's why we are able to listen to the news, even though like, just we have a very limited English. When someone is like talking on a news, then you would tell that they are so familiar because they have like a limited number of words that they're going to be just using, which is very common for the majority of us. So if you don't know anything from that one, then that's where to consult your dictionary and then to get to get with it. And then the other one is probably just to get bold and then just to speak it like the moment that you got it, and whenever you are going there, just try to watch out on yourself, like how many times are people saying like come again, like I can't hear you, or pardon me. And then over a period of time, you're going to see that those things would get or would fade away. And don't worry too much about like your accent. It would be difficult to be like completely accent free. And then of course it's going to take like a lot of energy or a lot of time on us to correct our accent than to correct like our communication skill, which is to be able to listen and then to be able to be heard. Okay, so without having any problem, just to express ourselves clearly and whatnot. The other one is while in the class, it would go without saying, but just we're going to avoid any kind of extreme topics like politics, religion, or anything which is going to tear us apart. Anything that we're going to work on this one is going to be just regarding our goal only. So remember, like we do have our goal, and then whatever is going to push us like left and right to stay out of the goal, we're going to avoid it. Okay, so we're not going to do anything on politics or religion or anything. And we're going to do this one like just in a day, in everyday kind of environment, and then we're going to get better on those. All right, so how's the class conducted? So by now you should have like the online portal. So there are, I think, probably two students or so who have joined us today. Maybe you don't have like an online portal account yet. So I'm going to set that portal account, just on that one, and then you're going to get an access. So the idea is you're going to be just given like a full instruction on how to get there. So there are like pre-recorded classes, worksheets, and assignments are going to be just given over there, and you're going to pick that one. And just when you are coming for the class, it's going to make the life easier. We tend to reduce the lecture class in the live class as much as possible, and we're going to focus more on the hands-on exercise. Just the things which would allow us just to work on the assignments or on the actual like not assignment, but the actual IT kind of things, which are like which would allow us just to make our hands dirty on that one, right? So we're going to focus on that one, and then in order to do that one, you're going to go through like the portal, get like the videos, see any kind of things. If there are any problems, that we're going to go through them, and then that's how we're going to conduct it. There are like weekly and then daily assignments that are going to be just given through your Slack, so that's going to be just also handled. So we have what we call the 2+1 days per week online meeting through Zoom. Probably for the first, I would say 3 weeks or so, we're going to use like the whole class, like the Monday, Wednesday, and Friday probably. But the other one is going to be just 2 of them, which is Monday and Wednesday, are going to be just mandatory. But the one class that we're having is going to be just left out for students, which you are going to be just gathering and then work on worksheets, do like the reading assignments and presentations and whatnot. So again, this is going to be just where we will try to inject things which would help you on the extracurricular activities like communication, just self-help kind of things, setting up the goal, making sure that you're going to be just having like more confidence on yourself, any kind of like business kind of or just business kind of like things, or reading things that would help you like on the self-help area, and those kinds of things are going to be just done on the Friday side, and it's going to be just important. All right, so the just to be successful, well, in the first place, like to be successful, the success by itself is going to be just another discussion, but to be successful, then just to have only the skill is not going to cut it. The skill is going to be just the bigger part of it, of course, but there are the minor part of it which are still important and are like integral part of like your success. So how do we get those? How are we going to get introduced to those kinds of things? How do we keep a track of like our goal? How do we keep ourselves in focus? How do we work more on our communications? How do we work with the team? So all of those things are going to be just things that we have to do like as a soft skill. So a good opportunity for us is just to have one more class which is dedicated for this, and then work on that one. And not only for that, but also like especially for those of us like our goal is just to join like the industry on the work. The interview, which is going to be one part of like your class, is going to be just conducted on Fridays. That is, we don't wait until the end in order to get you prepared on the interviews. We're going to make it like a little bit earlier. So when we say interview, then it's going to be just more of interesting one, right? So think about it, like someone is going to hire you. But by the way, this has nothing to do with that of like the hiring only, but it could be on business engagements, or it could be like on friendships, or it could be just on anything that you're going to be just interacting. You know, just every time, every individual is a businessman one way or another, right? Like we have to sell something, whether it is an idea. You know, just if you have to you know, just you can't force, for example, your kid to eat, right? So you have to sell something for the kid to eat. You know what I mean? So you know, just you're not you don't think that you're a businessman, but somehow you're selling. You have to make sure that that one is happening. Or if you are like, let's say you are you want to take maybe like a night with your friends, and then you have to get a permission from your spouse, then you have to sell that idea for him or for her. Now, every time we're doing that one. So think of it like when it is for interview. So the interviewer is trying to hire you, and you are trying to be hired, and you have never met before. So it is a kind of interesting environment, right? So how does he or she, which is the interviewer, is going to know whatever you are saying is true? Because on resume you have said like, I know this thing, I know that one, I worked here, I worked there. Believe me, like I'm a very good person. I know the work, and if you have me, like you're going to be just happy. Now, on the other hand, like the employee is going to say, how am I going to sell my idea to this guy so that he's going to believe me, or she's going to believe me? And how should I talk? How should I position myself? What should be my gestures? What should be my body language should be looking like? What kind of cues should I be doing? What are the things that I should be picking from that one? So you can see that there is a kind of a business going on between the two, right? Like the interviewer and that of like the interviewee. So this is where things is going to get like a little bit more interesting, in that you're trying to sell, and how do you sell? You know, just how are you going to attest like the things that he's asked or she's asking you? What are the things that the interviewer trying to listen out of that one? What are the tricky points out there? Is there things that you don't know? Is there things that you want to ask? Are you cutting him off or cutting her off? How are you answering? How are you taking a time? How are you taking a space? Are you doing like in kind of like a compliment for taking their time? Have you thanked them? Have you said like, oh, this one is a good opportunity, this is a good question, thank you for bringing that up, so that, you know, just you are keeping in the mood of like the interviewer. Was that boring? So these whole things are going to be just art. These are not, you know, like the skill part is the science, which is, you know, like we're going to teach you the skill. So that is the science part, you know, like if you don't do it right, it's not going to work. So, you know, just anywhere you go, as long as you are on the earth, the gravity is going to be just 9.8, right? So that's the science. Like there is, so you can measure it everywhere, and it should be there. If not, then there is something wrong, probably on your calculation, or you have found something new. All right. Otherwise, it should work like all the time. So the skill part is like that one. But there are the softer parts of it, right? Like the interview part, for example, that I've told you, is more or less the art. So there is, you have to increase your likability to be hired, or to do a business, or to be able to convince your friend or your spouse or someone to do something, which is basically like selling. So those kinds of like a couple of like arts over here are going to be just we'll try to cover them like in a little bit from here and there, so that, you know, just over a period of time you're going to get better when you're presenting yourself in front of like the interviewer. And priority projects that are going to be just submitted, they are all parts of like how we're conducting the class. And most of you might have already got like the Slack, which is like the communication tool. So anyone who has used like Messenger, Viber, Telegram, or whatnot, it is basically the same thing, except this is more for the IT world. And anything, the email regarding the calls, you're going to get it like from course at the practicality. SMS, most probably most of you might have got it already. So any kind of like the reminders regarding, just the submissions and whatnot are going to be just be conducted through this one, 833-996-1234 is our line. And for the live class, we're going to be just using Zoom. The link that I shared for the Zoom, that's going to be just permanent class for the class. So you can use that one. And of course, from your portal, you're going to get like your videos. And I'm going to walk you through on this one, like on how things are going on the first day. So it should be much more easier. We're going to pick up like on Google Doc for your assignment submissions. So we're going to, there are like, as I've said, like there are daily assignments in whatnot to be submitted. So the way how we're going to be just using like the Google Docs. Again, like since we don't have like any assignments yet, then you don't have to worry about it, but I'm going to walk you through like when we get there. But these are like things we're going to be just using as a tool, which would facilitate the class. And GitHub, I think we're a little bit early at this point to discuss about it. So we're going to cross that bridge when we get there. So, but just it's a part of like another tool. And class schedules are going to be just every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, starting from like 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And the course, this is going to be just mailed out to you, course.itspractical.com. You're going to be just given username and password. And most of you should get it by now. Maybe Sarkalam, you haven't got it yet, and maybe Yared, you might have not got it. I think so. And there are like probably two more who haven't joined us like for this stuff. So we're going to make sure that you got this one, and then you are on your way. And also your guys as well. I don't think like you have got it, so I'm going to make sure that you got this one as well. All right, so using Slack, you're going to treat it like any other communication tool. Just this is the one that I mentioned, and for most of you, you already got an invitation for that one, and that's how you're going to be just using it. So again, let me break over here. Any questions for me so far before I jump into like the third and probably the last part of it? All righty. I'm going to credit myself. I might have done a great job that everything is clear. That's how I see it. All right, so or the other word, like everybody is smart, and then you got it on the first shot. So probably we're both winners. All right, so there is a little bit of a mantra that we're going to be just using. How do we now remember? Like we start from what our goal is. Just our goal. Your goal is going to be just to be an IT professional, right? Now there are things along that journey, right? So so if we have a goal and we see it coming, then left and right, like there are a couple of things which would try to push you or nudge you out of like the line. But as long as like you keep a sight to your goal, it shouldn't be a process. It shouldn't be a problem. Just you might be nudged, you might be pushed like a little bit left and right. But still, if you focus to your goal, then you're going to get there. So that's what I mean by the focus. And focus is, it looks like a very easy word, but unfortunately it's not, especially the States. Sorry about that. I think you can mute yourself probably. Everybody. All right, I have a control, so I have looks like muted everybody. Yep. Okay. So focus looks like it's a little bit of like overloaded word. It looks like it's a very easy thing to accomplish, but unfortunately it's not. So especially the States, there are a couple of things which would take our focus or attention, and like there are a bunch of things out there if you try to Google like how to focus. starting from just all sorts of things, starting from like to the extreme case. There are even people who are taking like medication in order to get focus, or to the lower end, getting like the basics, just keeping healthy, having a good sleep and whatnot, eating right would help to focus as well. Area or places that are going to be just trying to have a focus, or meditation or whatnot, are going to help us as well. But however the case, then we want to focus on that goal. Just if we don't do that one, it's very easy to sway from our line, and then just to end like, or to drift away from our goal. So keep a note of that one as well. And if we follow the same recipe, like, we end up like with the same food, right? So just like the one, if we are going to be just keeping our focus, if we are going to be just keeping like the goal, then just the getting into like that, the IT professional is going to be just attainable. We have all sorts of students who have been working and placed right now as IT professional. And on that Friday class, we'll try our best to bring them up and share their experience. And they are from all different walks of life. Just those who have been working in the accounting, those who have been working on the transportation, whether it is taxi or Uber, those who have been working on a cashier, those who have been from the pharmacy, like from all sorts of life. That they are, just they keep their focus, and then it's possible to do that one. And when I'm saying that one, don't feel that it's going to be just too much on you. It is, just the more burden is going to be just on our end, right? So we have to be able to guide you through the right path. We have to show you this is what you need to pick up. This is what is going to be just necessary for you to get there. Just so most of that's going to be just from our side. What we need from your side is whatever we give you, which is going to be just relatively a more squeezed version of like the stuff, and just to be able to pick it up, and then just have it like right away kind of thing. You don't want it to pile up. You don't want it to take like longer. So you're going to take it like smaller, and then just that's going to be just making it easier. So we're there with you. If there is any problem, we can help you. We can guide you through that one, whether it's small or big. Mind you, like you're here just to learn. We already have decided that everybody doesn't know anything. So if you are asking us like 1 + 1, it is exactly the same thing as if you are asking us like how does like the internal workings of like the CPU are working. So it's basically the same question for us in both ways. So because we don't consider anything as a silly question, we can give you like a silly answer once in a while, and then you can laugh at us. But just we don't consider any questions as a silly. So if you have any kind of hiccup, if you don't get anything, if you think that that's not going to take you to, or if you're hitting a wall or something, bring that up and let it be our problem. You don't want it to be your problem. You want it to be our problem. That way, you're going to give us like more direction, and it's going to be just showing us also like where you need like more help. That way, we know where you are. We'll give you like whatever the requirement that you need in order to make you like to the right path. And that would make it like a smooth kind of like interaction between the just from our side and from your side as well. So this is what I've mentioned right now. And the other thing is it is going to be just easy to get a sway by like the placement, the salary. Would I be able to work? Would I get it? Is that for me? And whatnot. Just there are so many things out there which would force you just to think otherwise. But just the easiest thing to do is to get where we get today. Just if you see like just every time you're going to take like the first step in order to be, before you take like the 10s or the 11th flight, you're going to start from like the first step. So make sure you are on the first step right now, and then you're going to get there. But if you think of like the 10th or the 20th flight or a stair, then it is very easy just to get tired out of it, and you might think that you're not going to get there. You might think that that's too far, too heavy, and unattainable. So you don't have to worry about like what's going to be just in the future, like about your placement, your salary, if you're going to be just a good programmer or not, or not. That's not going to be just your task right now. Your task is just to pick up like what we have given you, and then that eventually is going to take get there. Well, at the beginning, it might be difficult to limit yourself, not to think about it, but force yourself, and then just make sure what your focus is going to be just only the current one. Only, just make sure that you are stepping fully on the first step before you pick your leg and then just step on the second one. So make sure like the first one is like on a good ground, and then go there and then go there, and eventually before you know it, you're going to attain your goal. Right. So, just making sure like right now you don't have like any skills, skills. So the main part that you're going to be just focusing is going to be just to get the right skill. The rest, as they say, follows. I've already gone through this one. Maybe this is a little bit more, so we're not going to discuss that one. So programming tools are going to be what we're going to be just using them. Again, these are going to be just a little bit early just to talk about them. This is just only for your information. So it's not only the skill or the education that we are taking, but there are also industry standard tools, which are very common, as any other IT professional should know, whether it is related to us or not. So we're going to pick them like step by step on that one. Those are going to make our life much more easier. They're going to help us to attain to our goal. So those are going to be just also a part of like our class. Sometimes like the class might get a little bit overwhelming. So if there is a need for us just to go back and do a supplementary class or revision class, we might use like the Friday class, or once in a while like a Saturday morning class are going to be just available for those of you who need like just a little bit more nudge or a little bit more help than the actual class. All right. So the approach, so our goal is the bigger one, right? Like the job placement or IT professional and whatnot is going to be just your goal. But as you can see, like it's going to start from a very smaller one. So before you step on this one, it would be difficult to step on this one. So as you can see, to leap from this smaller one to this one is much more easier. To leap from this one to the bigger one is going to be just easier as well. So the first one, at every given moment, we should be taking care of like where we are and what is going to be just provided on that one. So when you are given on a skill meaning like the class on how you're going to be just solving a problem, how you're going to understand it, how you're going to get familiar with your code, with your computer and whatnot. So that's going to be just the skill. So we make sure that that one is attained fully first. Then you're going to harden that one by using projects or exposures, like just the knowing the skill is one thing, and then to aggregate all the skills that you know so far and then implementing it on a project is another thing. So once we get you like more solidified on that one, then getting into the other one, which is going to be just the job placement, is going to be just much more easier, meaning doing the resumes, mock interviews and preparations and going through like that resumes and whatnot, recruiters and whatnot is going to be just much more easier. So the idea is focus, which is going to be wherever you are on the first one, which is going to be just you are on the smaller dots right now. You're going to pick up like the skill, so you don't have to worry about like what kind of project am I going to work. You don't have to work about like am I going to get a job, or am I going to be just competent on the IT, or am I going to be just able to work and then explain or expand my business using that one. So you're going to get in there. That is a short, but make sure that you're focusing more where you are right now. So it's going to be just teamwork. So as I've said, like we are going to be just providing you like the necessary stuff, and of course we expect you to pick that one and then just get it over. So that we're going to work together. So towards the goal, we are going to provide you like what is necessary, and then we expect you to pick that one, so that we're going to get to like the goal as quick as possible and as smooth as possible. All right. So there is a requirement from your side as well to pick up like on the class, data assignments and whatnot. All right. So we have like a kind of thing that we say engage, focus, succeed. The engagement part is important, which means you are doing the engagement by now already. So when you are coming here, just taking a part, asking questions, trying to understand what is out there, what is like a full stack developer, what are we going to do with that one, what is our goal. All that stuff is going to be just the engagement. And then the focus part is what we have mentioned, just to stay focused, to work on what we have given you, and then to see your goal. And then when someone is pushing you, like, or when something is pushing you, like from left and right to from your line, just to get right back to it, and then just to get focused is another one. And whether you need it or whether you like it or not, then success is going to be just inevitable on this one. So you're going to be just successful on that one. Like as long as you're engaged and focused, then just that's going to be just the one. So we're going to provide that one, and we're going to be just interacting back and forth with these ones. And then at the end of the day, we want to make you like the successful of a year. So we're going to work as a team, and we have like a common goal, as we have said. That's what we have mentioned on the previous one. So whether the right one is going to be just to be placed on a job, or just to know what is out there, or just whatever your goal at the end of the day, which is going to be coming after that of like being IT professional. We're going to make sure that we're going to do that one. We would need your help as well to get us in there for all of us as a team. And just can make it. People have done it. There is no any reason that you cannot do that one. Okay, so if someone has already done it, who was already on your shoes, and you are in there, it would be just a matter of like focusing on this one, like engaging, focusing, and then the success is going to be just inevitable. And the other one is just believing in yourself, right? So at this point, we would have like a little bit of like a self-doubt. Not all of us, but just sometimes you might have like a success. So a couple of things can come to our mind. Well, it has been a while since I've taken a class. Or you might say, well, I don't think like I do have like all the time that's going to be just necessary for this one. Or you might say, it looks like kind of hard. I don't think like it's going I'm going to make it. So if you have those kind of doubts coming on your mind, that is perfectly fine, which is natural. And like the human, but by nature, we the humans by nature are always taking like the easy or the soft path. So think of like what we are naturally tend to do, like sleeping or watching movies or talking, or like those kinds of things are going to be just so natural for all of us. It is very easy, it's very natural. If we are sleeping, or if we are just doing like any kind of like entertainment things day in day out, that's what the mind would prefer to do. Just it doesn't want to get like a lot of pressure and so forth, and a lot of like thinking, or just career path or whatnot. This is something new for your body, for your mind and whatnot. So if this one is coming to your mind, then a part of your mind is trying to resist you. It's going to say, hey, you better save, right? Like you better take it easy, right? So if there is this kind of fight on your mind, then just that's healthy. That's perfectly fine. You don't have to fight it back. But at the same time, just you're going to get out of that one. Otherwise, we're not going to make a change on our life. Just we have to be able a little bit like ahead of ourselves, right? So we can't be on the same plane all the time. It's not going to be just good for us, good our body, good for our health or whatnot. We are the human beings, right? Like we came from somewhere, we're going somewhere. So while we are here, we should do something. At least we can change our life for the better. So if you think that for whatever reason there is a doubt on your mind, then that's natural. Okay, so you don't have to worry about it. The only thing is you don't have to listen to it like too much. That there is a way. There are tools that just to get and then force you to do the right thing, which is just to make it better. Just to change your life. Or if you are, let's say, you are a mom and you are sitting at home and you might be thinking that how am I going to do this one with the child and whatnot. So if you really think about it, then just there are times that you can do that one, and probably the partner can help out. Or there are like ways if we think then on how we're going to make a time to read, to make ourselves just available for the class, or to keep up, then just it would be a matter of like about the first 30 days or probably 45 days, and then we're going to grab that habit, which would allow us just to be on top of like the success part. So if the first one is just you should believe in yourself. Like if there is a self-doubt, that's fine. and it's natural because the mind, just more or less like would want you just to go to like the very, very soft and easy path, but we can overcome that one and then just make it easy for ourselves. As I mentioned, like others have done it, just this should be like a testament for you, and then we're going to bring them here, and probably they can explain what the challenge with them, what kind of things would have been easier, just what would they say like they would do when they were a student, what kind of things are going to be just out there like when they are working right now. Some of them, I don't know, it's going to be just a little bit confidential, but if they are willing, then they can tell the range that they are getting as a salary, but the average is going to be just 110 or so, at least for most of like our students that have been placed. So just just those kinds of things, one way or another, you're going to be just associated with one of them, right? So if they have done it, just you can do it. So that we have to believe on ourselves, right? So we have to know our goal. We have to know like what this class is all about, which is going to be just problem solving, and for that we're going to be just taking a class. And more importantly, we have to believe on ourselves. Just everybody can do this thing. People have done it, and there isn't any reason that you cannot do that one. There is a little bit of an effort that we have to do. We have to fight, and we have to say like, for whenever our mind is telling us to do like the easiest thing, we can resist it like a little bit, and then do the reading, do the stuff, and then eventually we can win our mind, and then just make it like to work for us. So just and then change like our life and get better at it, right? And probably what I want to emphasize on this one is just those who haven't made it to the end, of course they're not going to make a success on this one. And quitting should not be the option on this one. So we do help like a lot of students who are quitting the class for this or that reason. Would allow them just to get back at least 1 or 2 sessions, unless it is just like a must thing just to quit a class. Just bear with us, okay? So keep pushing the class at least to the end of like the project and whatnot, and you'll see a lot of change on yourself when you do that one. And then once you get there, it would be almost impossible to fail. Okay, so one, we're not going to let you go. We would help you, whatever the case, that we're going to help you out and to get you to the right place. And then the other one is, by the time that you are making it to that mark, you would have like all the habits which would make you just to the success. Okay, so you have already overcome taking a class, reading, working assignments, getting into the classes, getting to the teammates, working on a project and whatnot. So all that stuff would make you just to get more stronger than you think. So you'd be amazed and proud of yourself when you get there to that like that one, provided you're not quitting. Okay, so you should never have like this thing on your dictionary. All right, so one last note. Usually, like, we're going to start 1 week after the class, so that we would leave the first week to read on the basics of that one. So when you get into the that like the portal, then you're going to get like the classes, so the assignments and whatnot are going to be starting. But we want to have like the students to read first a little bit. And then when we get to the class, then they are not continuously like new about it. So we're going to start from what they have already got like a little bit of familiarity by going through like the videos. And that would make it much more easier rather than just starting from everything from the scratch. So we're going to take the first one to give them like the students like a week, so that they're going to go through like some of the videos. And then starting from that to March and onwards, that's going to be just non-stop, a marathon kind of a class going to be just starting. So officially the class is going to start on March 7th, which is going to be just on the coming Monday. And then for the first week, we might not have like a live class. The class has started, but the live class might not be available, which is through the Zoom. But on March 14, you're going to use like the same Zoom link, and then that would be like our first live session, and then we're going to take it from there. Alrighty. Anyone having any questions or things that you want me more clarification or whatnot?
Hey, Caleb.
Yes.
Could you explain to us how long this class takes and when it will be finished?
Yeah, good. So this class is going to, on the shorter term, it's going to take like the calendar. All right, so we are on March right now. So we're going to be just starting on 7. So at least the April, May, and June are going to be just the main class. So we're going to be just done with somewhere like around, I think, 20-ish or so. We're going to be just done with the main one. But the project is going to be just picking up on the July. And then this is where, so for most of you, like when, if myself or others have talked to you, and then whenever the discussion of like the class, we might have already mentioned it's going to be just from 4 months to 6 months. Now, the difference between the 4 months and the 6 months, which is going to be just about like a month and a half or so, is due to the fact that some of the students might be, just everybody doesn't have like equal starting point. So for this or that reason, some of the students might be just lagging a little bit. So if that appears to be the case, then that buffer point of like about, just the a month or 2 is going to keep us going to keep them like on the class. So on the short side of the stick, it's going to be just 4 months. But on average, for most of the students who have been, just starting and whatnot, on average, it's going to be just 5 months. So the maximum is going to be just 6 months.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. No problem. And thank you, Riga. Like nobody has asked anything, so you have rescued us. At least there is one question. All right. Anyone having any questions?
Hey, Caleb.
Yes.
So you say the live class will start on the 14th, right?
Yes,
So
that's right.
what do we do next week? Say the class starts on the 7th.
Yeah. So let me take it over here, and then I'm going to walk you through like what exactly you will do on that one. Okay. All right. So when you get into the portal, you're going to see something like this one. So during the first week, what we want you to do is, like if you go, in case if you don't see it like this one, then when you see like this Scrum thing on the top, like if you click on that one, then it's going to show you like the site home. And this is where you're going to see like your class. So for the first week, what we want you to do is just to go to like all of you are enrolled for this one. So when you go there, you're going to see like the lecture videos over here. All right, so you're going to go through that one, and there are like assignments. Some of them are going to be just you can answer them right there. But we want you to go through like the videos over here. So on the first week, if possible, like the first, we have allowed you just to get enrolled up to, I think week 3 is going to be just the maximum that we have assigned. For some of you might have like the week 4 or something, but at least from week 1, week 2, and week 3 have been assigned. So what we want you to do like on the first week is just to go over the basics of like the computer. So these are, especially the first one is, as we have said, like we're not expecting like everyone to know everything. So this is what we call like the benching, or we're going to be just the leveling of the class. So some of them are going to be just very minor or elementary, but for some of us, if we don't know anything, then it's going to be just helpful. So we want you just to go through that one. And then for those of you who think that this one is, just relatively easier for you, and then you already know that one, then there is, even for those of you, like if you've gone through this one and then you are good, then we want you just to go through and then to proceed with that of like the week 2, as much as you can. Like it's not mandatory, but just you can do like within the first week, to go through like the videos that we have provided over here, and then get familiar yourself with the topics and whatnot. If you don't understand some of them, that's fine, and then that's what we do like when we get into the class. would have like a question and answer. And through that, we're going to be just going through like what you have gone through, if there are any questions, if there are any clarifications that you need, and then we can take it from there. So thank you for asking for that one. So all of you are going to get this one. So at least everybody, I want you just to go through, you know, like the first part, and then understand the basic terminologies of like a computer. You know, what are the hardwares? What is the software? What is the RAM? Where are we going to use a hard disk? What is a network? What do we mean when we say internet? What is like the DNS? How does like the computer work? And all that stuff are going to be just handled on the basics of the computer. And those are, you know, just lingos and language and whatnot are going to be just using throughout the class. So it's going to keep us like on the same bench. But still, if this one, if you have a question, if something is not clear, then we're going to go through like the class, and then when we start on the 14th, we're going to cover it on that one. And for those of you who have gone through this one, if you got a time, and hopefully you would, and I would highly encourage you just to go through like the, you know, like week 2 as well, and try to understand it. So some of it you might not understand it, and that's perfectly fine. But try your best just to go through that one, at least to listen, and then just to get familiar with the topics, so that by the time that we get into and then just work on it, it would make more sense. So this is what you're going to be just doing on that one, if that makes sense.
Yeah, but the assignments, we don't do them.
For the week 1, I would encourage you just to do that one, but not really. Like for the, as I've said, like the week 1 is going to be just to make sure everybody is on the same page. So at least have like the first 3 or 4 of them to be the assignment. You can submit them on that one, so they're going to you know, just answer it over there. So if you maybe it might not be easy for me to show it because I'm here as an admin. So let's say interview questions, and you're going to have like the you know, just the for you, it's going to show you like the answer over here. Like if you go there, like for each one, there are questions over here, like which website do you use and most, and why? How do you solve a problem if Google was not available? What is docs.google.com? Have you ever used it before? We have a website already, so how would you help us with, as a web developer, for our already created website? So you're going to get the answers from the videos themselves. So, you know, just it's going to be just a comprehension kind of thing, and you're going to go ahead and then just answer the assignment. So you can answer the assignment on the portal itself for the you know, just week 1. Week 2 and further, we have a way to, I'm going to walk you through that one. It's going to be just through the Google Docs. So you're going to do that one, but at least for the first one, you can read through this way.
How do I submit the assignments?
What was that? Sorry.
How to submit the assignment? Just
Yeah,
submit.
Yeah, sure. So basically, it's going to be just through googledocs.com, but on the first live class, I'm going to walk you through that one, on how you're going to be just submitting it. But for this one, for the you know, like for the week 1, when you log in as a student, and when you click on interview questions, you're going to see a portal right there. And then it's going to allow you just to answer the questions in there. It might not be able to allow me to show it over here because I've logged in as an admin, so it's not going to show me on that one. It would allow me just only to correct it. But when you log in as a student, then you would be able to see a plot just to answer your questions over here, like for each questions out there. So you can answer it and then just submit over there on the portal itself.
Hey, Caleb.
Yes.
Yeah, you send me the enrollment email and
Okay.
with a password and username.
Okay.
I try to get to the class by clicking the
link.
But when the link, yeah. But when I click, it opens the page what you show us now. And when I click it, it said, and put my email and password. It said the page was blocked for your protection, and I don't know why. It's not taking me there. Is it only me or what?
Does anybody else have this kind of experience, or is that only a
problem? If anyone has it, they can try it now. But it just
So have you ever used like a Zoom before? Like have
Yeah.
you ever shared? Okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
if that's the
Sure.
case, then I can stay a little bit late after this this session, and then I'm going to help you out on that one. I'll see
Very-
like what is going on.
Very good. Okay.
All right, cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Sure.
All right. Anyone having any other? Did I answer your question, Yared, regarding like the submissions?
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
you got.
All right. Anyone having any other questions? Alrighty. If that's the case, I'm going to stop recording.